So for try to attack, here's where we want to say or confirm to the user what just happened and what actually weapon they had chosen. So we can say you try to attack and we can actually pull in a variable here and incorporate that as part of the response that's sent back to the user. So here we can put in attacker. Since we had set up that variable up here, we had set attacker to wild boar and as well as attacker to hyena. So if we include that in curly braces, the value of that variable will be replaced, and that's what Alexa will say back to the user. So you try to attack the attacker with your, and we could put in here, weapon chosen. That was the variable that we had created up here. Here was the weapon chosen. We set it to spear or machete. Once that's done, we could say then. And now let us actually do some battle. So we're going to create a scene that's called battle. So we haven't implemented that yet. Let's go down here and we can put in battle. Now for the actual battle scene, Alexa doesn't really say anything to the user. We're just going to execute the battle itself. So we can say then, so we skip out the say part as we're not saying anything, and let us execute a new scene. So we're going to do attack result. And what we're doing here is we're incorporating the entire attack sequence in a particular scene, and by using this symbol, we're able to execute that scene and return back into this scene right after, or I should say on the line that immediately follows that call. Let's actually go ahead and implement attack result because we'll be using some of the variables that are set in there. So if we put attack result, here is that scene. And in here, again, we're not seeing anything because we're going to be reusing. Remember, you're going to be attacking for one round and then we'll be attacking again. So we'll reuse this over and over. That's why we're sort of incorporating it into its own scene. So for attack result, we can roll a dice. So this is something that we will introduce, rolling a dice, to see if you inflict damage on the attacker, or if damage is inflicted on you. So with that being said, there is a feature provided in the Flow Builder, and you can say roll 1d2. That's actually rolling one dice that has two sides, and this is a convention that we use. And we can set a flag. This is another way to set a variable in the Flow Builder. So we can say flag attack foe. Here we're going to say if the roll result is equal to 1, and whenever we call the roll here function, it would roll a dice, and the dice only has the values 1 and 2. If it were a traditional dice, it would be 1d6, and that would be one dice with 6 sides, but we just have a dice that has either the result will be 1 or 2. So if roll result is 1, here we'll do an unflag. And that's basically unsetting attack foe. And we will then return directly to our calling function. So to do that, we do greater than sign, and we use uppercase return. And what that will do is our scene will be executed here. It will jump into the attack result scene. This will be executed. And when we return, we're going to come back right under here. So if attack foe, meaning if that flag was set, this up here sort of randomizes if you're actually going to be successful in attacking your foe. So if attack foe was true, that was set, let's decrease your attacker health because you inflicted damage. So we're going to do decrease attacker health by weapon damage. All right, and then we can call another scene to actually give a battle update. Or alternatively, if not attack foe, meaning that flag was unflagged or it's false, that means that you got attacked. So let's reduce your health. So we're going to do decrease player health by attacker damage. And this is, remember, the attacker damage is how much that particular animal will damage you. So for a machete, you can inflict a weapon damage of 2. For a spear, a weapon damage of 3. But for a boar, the attacker damage is 4. So if the boar was successful in attacking you, you'll have to reduce your health by 4. Or if the hyena was successful in attacking you, you'll have to reduce your health by 3. So that is essentially what we're doing here. We're decreasing the player health by the attacker damage. Otherwise, if you were successful in attacking your attacker, you will decrease the attacker health by the weapon damage, depending on if you selected the spear or the machete. So once that's done, we can also give a battle update here. And let's go ahead and implement that scene. So we're going to do a give battle update. And that's simply here, Alexa is going to say, your health is, and here we're going to put in the player health, the current value of the player health. We can put a full stop there. Then we can say the health of the attacker. So this would be either the boar or the hyena. Remember, we're substituting the value of the actual variable in the phrase that's being spoken by Alexa. So the health of the attacker is, and then we're going to put in attacker health. So once Alexa says that, then now we have to determine if you have died. So if player health less than or equal to 0, essentially you have died, because your life points are down to 0, and we can say jump to game over. That's a scene for game over. Or if attacker health less than or equal to 0, that means the attacker died. So what we're going to do here is we're going to jump to a new scene that's called clearing. So that's kind of moving on in the narrative. And then finally, if the player health greater than 0 and the attacker health greater than 0, well, that means that both of us are still alive, or I should say both the characters are still alive, and you have to go again. So you can call draw weapon and reuse that scene. So after every attack, Alexa is going to call back draw weapon. And if we look at draw weapon, Alexa will say, do you draw your spear or your machete? And then you will go for another attack. So you keep on doing that until one of you reaches below 0, and then you would have died. So let's put in a last scene here for game over. So we're going to implement game over. And we're going to say here, sorry, you have died, you passed away, you were not able to escape the jungle. And then we can say, do you want to give it another shot? And what we can do here is simply just go back to start playing. So that's why we wrote the scene that way, in that we're able to go back to start playing. I just saved there were a bunch of errors. That's because a few things haven't been implemented. Let us put in clearing here. Let's save again. And let's see. Cannot find scene name game over. Looks that's there. Looks like it's there. Game over. Oh, we put in a curly brace, which we didn't need to. Let's go ahead and save. One last thing, closing curly brace. We didn't need that there. All right, so once that's done, let's save. Okay, we're good. So we just made a couple of mistakes there, and we did some debugging, and we were able to successfully complete it. So that implements our battle scenes, and let's test this out in the next video.